What's up? What's up? What's up, everyone? Cosmic Cage back with another episode. We're gonna do another reaction video. Just where are we in current times when it comes to men getting women? What do you have to do, and the things that come along with that? So I'm gonna let the video play, and then we're gonna go into my take on this.
Men who are ready to commit are fearful of doing so because they've noticed that many women seem to like them more and soften up when they're mistreated and kept guessing. I saw this comment from a guy on Instagram which encapsulates this perfectly. He said, "I'm trapped in a generation where I don't know whether to buy her flowers or ignore her to get her to like me." Men will do what women demand of them in order to get laid. Women set the standards for sex, and men meet them. There's this idea from Roy Baumeister. He says, although this might be considered an unflattering characterization, we have found no evidence to contradict the basic general principle that men will do whatever is required in order to obtain sex, and perhaps not a great deal more. One of us characterized this in previous work as, if women would stop sleeping with jerks, men would stop being jerks. If, in order to obtain sex, men must become pillars of the community, or lie, or amass riches by fair means or foul, or be romantic, or be funny, then men will do precisely that. So, similarly, if men need to be broken, flaky, non-committal, and inconsistent, they will meet these standards appropriately. Women's mate choices, modern romance culture, and girl magazines are not at fault for emotionally unavailable behavior in men, but they're not totally unrelated to it either. What is needed is a clearer picture of healthy connection.
All right, well, there you go there, and that's pretty deep. And there's a couple different angles I want to go when it comes to that video there. I've discussed this same exact point on multiple different videos. That's something you got to understand as a guy. The standard that's set for getting women is set by women. The behaviors that's needed to get these things are only accepted when you get the goal. The guy has to be romantic to get women, he'll do that. If he has to be a jerk to get women, he'll do that. But that is something that we have to understand. If we are going to complain about the toxic dating field, we have to understand the roles we play in having the dating field the way it is. The reason I want to take this as an angle with men is obviously because this page is dedicated to men, but this is something deeper that you have to understand based on what your goal is and what you're trying to accomplish. If you just want to sleep around with a bunch of women and you don't care, then you can play the image and be whoever you need to be to become that person. One thing I found with doing that, you kind of lose bits and pieces of who you truly are, because you're always playing a role to get a goal. Oh, I didn't mean to rhyme like that, but I just dropped the bar. But you're always playing a role to get a goal because you know that you need to play this certain person in order to get whatever you're trying to get. If you're doing this multiple times a day, a week, multiple different women, then how often are you actually yourself, right? You're putting up this image and facade because you think that's what you need to do to be that person. The reason I talk about that in the angle, it took me some time to realize this. I would withhold certain things. I would amplify certain things, I would downplay certain things just to be the certain person I needed to be, emotionally disconnected, fading in and out with the consistencies, all these different things. But what you tend to realize is it really worth it? You're doing meaningless connections, and there's really solid, dope people that you can connect with and still get the same things you want. It requires a little bit more work, but what you have to understand is that anything that generally requires you to do a lot of work generally is going to have a better prize at the end. If it's easy, that means a bunch of people is doing it and the prize is very minimal. So when it comes to this same issue, I always say you just got to amplify your good traits. You got to make sure that you are constantly getting better, whether it's working out in the gym, whether it's, getting your mind right. It doesn't always have to be just therapy. It could be however way for you to get that way. Like, it's different for everyone. Get your spiritual, mental, physical things right, get your finances right, and doing those things by itself will attract people. And show them you have a little bit of personality, have fun. I think this whole dating thing has become more of like a job. It's not as fun anymore. You just got to bring that back into it. Plan some dates that are fun. You know, like really do some things that you will have fun and that you think will be also a great date idea. Stop doing dinner dates to begin with. Just because you think it's gonna get you something. Expensive dinner dates, you don't need to do that. Like, trust and believe. Like, I used to do dinner dates a lot for the first dates. I rarely, if ever, do it at all now. You gotta strip all those things away. You gotta see the character of that person. When it comes to any like of these issues with getting women, you have to understand that when you are yourself, it is so much easier to go through this whole process, because not everyone you meet you're gonna get on the first date. You're not. And you have to stop going into dates expecting to get some anyway, because if you don't, you'll be disappointed. Don't expect it. Go in there, be yourself, be smart, right? Every date experience, you're going to learn and take something from it. Like, okay, on the first date, I need to do this more, or I need to do this less. And use dating as kind of like when you come back, like playing a sport. Every time you do it, you get better. You pick up on game plans. You pick up on how people are reacting to you. And then you get better at it. You can still do that in the context of being yourself. You don't have to be anyone else to do it. Whether it's you looking for a relationship or just something casual and small, you still need to spend some time with that person, and you still need to have some connections. I messed with some women that I could not stand. I could not stand them outside of the time we were in bed. And was it ever worth it? I mean, it's so minimal in the course of your life. Like, in the moment, it felt like it was, but every time I've dealt with those type of people, it never really lasts long, because I just dreaded just being around that person. It was only that time when we were having sex that we always got along, and besides anything else, it was absolutely terrible. So I always like to say, like, you know that this is the current dating standard and what we have to do, but this is gonna allow you to weed out a lot of the people that you don't need to have in your life. The people that you have in your life really defines who you are as a person. And that becomes with the people that you talk to, that becomes with your friends, your family, your coworkers you hang out with. Anyone that you have in your life defines who you are as a person. So this is something that took me a little long to learn, but it's something that's very important when it comes to current dating culture. Do not contribute to the toxicity because you feel like you need to because of what society's doing. You do it your way, you get good at it, you be a good person, you continue to evolve, and I promise you the right woman will attach to you. Other than that, hopefully you took something from this video, but have a great day. Cosmic Cage out.